everyone, welcome to the Kick-Ass Show, and it is Wednesday. Welcome. If you're joining me, as always, please post into comments. Simon Lovell from Fitpreneurs, fitpreneurs.com, helping you kick ass. It is the Kick-Ass Show. And just remember, if you are not kicking your ass, you need your ass kicked. And in today's video and episode, we're going to be talking about 5 ways to improve your brand. Okay. Now, this show is now fed over to iTunes. So if you're listening on iTunes, then welcome. Also live over on Fitpreneurs, facebook.com/Fitpreneurs. And as always, check out the playlist over on YouTube. If you head to fitpreneurs.com/kickass, then you'll get access and subscribe to the YouTube playlist where there's lots of other videos covering different elements of your business. Now, I know, I used to work on national magazines. For some of you who don't know, I started off in the age of 16 working on national video games magazines, and then I went to start and own my own publishing company. And so that has, over time, given me quite a bit of experience when it comes to having an eye for certain things, including my own brands and also helping my clients to build brands. But I totally appreciate that sometimes when you go into an industry and you suddenly start becoming the business owner, then you start to think about logos and brands and how should it look and what's right. And sometimes we just ask a friend and we go about the normal process of just trying to put something together. And oftentimes we find ourselves in our business and we start comparing ourselves with, oh, well, I want something, different, or I want it to be better. But sometimes we can't actually see it for ourselves on whether we have something that's a strong brand or not. So in this video, this episode of Kick-Ass today, I really want to give you just 5 really simple ways, okay, simple actionable things that you can do right away to boost the quality of your brand. And why is that important? Well, first impressions last, okay? Now, I will always advocate that, if you want to generate revenue, you don't need a website. You don't need, if you're just getting going, you don't need to have a brand ready. You don't need to have all of these things ready. You just want to go out and talk to people, connect with people, and enroll clients, okay? So many people get caught up in, okay, having to make everything perfect from the get-go, where the truth is that's not the case. However, it doesn't mean that we don't want to have a website. It doesn't mean that we don't want to have a good brand. And I always strive to, do the best that I can with the resources that I have. And so I know that many of you watching may want to have a bit of a kickstart in this area. And the great thing is that there's some awesome tools. There's some great different ways and means for you to be able to get ahead. Now, this list, by the way, could be probably 50 long. But what I've done is I've picked a few of the key ones, things that come up, quite a few times for my coaching clients over at Fitpreneurs. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is photography. Okay, so oftentimes, and I talked about this on my VIP coaching call yesterday. If I go over to your website and I go over to your brand, am I going to go and I go to your Facebook page? Am I going to see a logo? Am I going to see a stock picture? Okay, or am I going to see some awesome photography? Okay, post it into the comments below if you're watching. Kathleen, welcome. If you're watching live, then post below. Do you feel that your brand is great? Do you think it could improve? And then let's talk about these different topics. So, photography. What is the quality of your photography like? Is it, just being done on an iPhone and it looks really shoddy? Or have you invested some money, okay, to be able to maybe get a photographer in? And remember, not all photographers are the same. So you're going to have photographers who have got a great eye and a great editing skill, and you're going to have certain photographers that are, really edgy, they're advanced, they're great with lighting, all of those things. And so photography is really important, guys. It's very important when it comes to your brand. It's very important when it comes to, what people see the first time they go to your website. What's the quality? And also this can really help with your Facebook ads and all of the stuff that you put together moving forward. So a lot of people start off with the stock photography, and that's a really bad place to go to because it doesn't elicit that emotion. People, when they go to their when they go to your website and when they get exposed to your brand, they want to get a sense of you, your staff, your community, your team. That's really important. So have a think about, on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, where is your photography at? Do you have any? Is it something you need to get better at? Is it something you need to bring in? This, again, helps with multiple different aspects when it comes to your business and that brand identity. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is brand colors. Every brand has their own brand identity. And so for Fitpreneurs, we have a yellow and blue brand identity. Okay. And that has always been one that I've stuck with. Now, I actually want to share something with you on the episode today, which is which is just it's a site I found, but it's the image that's more important. And you can just type into Google brand colors, but you can see here that different brands elicit different kind of emotions. You know, you've got red, which is kind of active, exciting, bold, physical. You've got pink, which is more feminine, okay, assertive, sensitive, nurturing. And it gives you explanations of different brands here that adopt these colors. You know, you've got Barbie, Cosmopolitan, you know, Victoria's Secret. No surprise there that they're female brands, okay? So when you're working with certain target demographic, you know, what color brand is going to resonate with that audience? You've got purple, which is stimulation, wealth, compassion, okay? Different brands that adopt these colors, you know, Yahoo, different websites here. Navy, of course, you know, a very more of a masculine color. By the way, this brand coloring is not extensive because you've got the blacks, the silvers, you've got more elite branding colors, which we can adopt. But this is a good framework. You've got things like trust for blue. You've got peace, control, success. Green, of course, it's more health driven. You've got growth and balance with different shades, of course, elicit different emotions. Of course, most of you got Skype installed on your computers, and so Skype has always had that kind of that lighter shade of blue alongside brands with Twitter and Blu-ray and Intel. Okay, with it being around more. Spirit, open, ambition, all of these things. Orange, I remember back in the UK, we've got Orange, the brand, the mobile phone brand, MasterCard, Penguin, Fanta, Nickelodeon. Okay, so just remember, guys, that when you're starting off in your business, you don't really tend to think about these things because maybe you speak to a friend, they get a logo designed and created for you, and so. It's really important once you start to get into marketing a bit more in depth that we really start to focus more on what are the colors, what is the brand identity, and how are we going to make sure that is across all of our social media channels, also website, everything that we're kind of putting out to be able to attract our target demographic. Another a cool couple of resources that I want to share with you are it's a website called Brand Crowd. Now, what this does is basically you've got lots of different designers who love creating brands and they're very creative, and they come up with just knowing me too, I'm a creator. Okay, so when you're a creator, you just love creating things. So you might not be creative. That might not be your tendency. But however, those who put together the brands on Brand Crowd, they just love creating brands. So what you can do is type in a keyword. It might be fitness, for example. Okay. And then you would come up with lots of different brands. Now, if you're starting off a new business or you're starting off a new sub-brand of your existing brand, then you may want to look at one of these and go, wow, I could just take this and change the name and it's going to cost me $200. And then you've already got yourself a good brand. And guys, there's a big difference between a logo and a brand. Okay, there's a big difference. A logo, a brand is something which is much more higher quality. It's been thought out around the colors, and there's a different edge to it. There's a different kind of quality. So branding is very different from logo creation. Okay, very, very important. A good resource for you, which is 99 Designs. Now, what happens here is you will post a project, and then you would pay down the investment. It might start off at $200 going up to a couple of $1,000, and then lots of different designers will come and they will put together a brand for you, and you pick the one which you like the most, and the others do not win. You pick the one which you like the most, and then you can also send out a poll. And the benefit of that is you've got lots of different creative ideas. Oftentimes what happens is sometimes you can go to one person, but you've only got the creativity of that one person. And so when you've got multiple people working on an idea for a brand, okay, and then they submit their idea, then you can get lots of different perspectives, okay? So that's a real benefit to you as the business owner, because you can get so many different inputs from their brain, okay? Really, really important. And also they have a great money-back guarantee process during that. So Brand Crowd, also 99 Designs is also a good resource to check out. The next thing I want to talk about briefly, so we talked about brand photography, we talked about brand colors, really important. We talked about 99 Designs and Brand Crowd being really cool resources for you. The next thing I want to talk about is consistency. You want to really think about how consistent your brand is across all of your channels, okay, so that people recognize the brand. For example, okay, behind me we've got the Fitpreneurs, okay, and if I do it this way, so behind me we've got the Fitpreneurs, and this is just a shot of the chest. And of course, if you've been you've been exposed to the brand for any length of time, then you'll know and you would have seen the chest, okay. But if you have been exposed to this brand for even a short period of time, and you've seen the logo on the brand, but I took the Fitpreneurs off the chest and you just saw the chest, then you would know that it's Fitpreneurs. You would have that level of association in your mind to the brand. So that's how brand identity is really important, okay? Because there's consistency across the website, the social, the chest that we've got within Fitpreneurs. And so it's got to be memorable, okay? If I said to you, just do it, I wouldn't need to tell you that it's Nike, okay? Because that brand has been wired in over time, okay? And that's what you want to start to create that with your own brand identity. So consistency is really key across your ads, across your social media channels, even your emails, and the way that you use your colors. The next thing I want to talk about, which is surveying, okay? If you're starting a new brand and you're just going into the industry, or you're creating a new sub-brand, as I've mentioned before, you want to start to get the opinion, not of yourself, but of your target audience. So, for example, if I create a new book cover, then I'm going to get the opinion of my audience, because I may like it, but especially if I'm a male and I'm looking and going to target a female audience, then even I may like the brand, it may completely resonate with a different design or different brand may resonate with the target audience. This is a challenge I had when I was doing the Lunchbox Diet, being a male, putting out copy, marketing, branding to a female audience, okay? So what I did was I would, before I got my book deal with HarperCollins, I would email out certain images, book covers, and I would get the feedback of my target audience because I wanted to know what resonates with the audience. So especially when you use something like 99 Designs, what will happen is you can actually do a poll and you can start to get the opinion of others, which is really key, which is what I'm going to say is this, which is really critical. Again, going back to what I was saying at the start of the show, which is oftentimes we have our own opinion and we have our own viewpoint, but we have to have the awareness to go, am I an expert in this? Could I get someone who's got a really good skill set and an eye to look over this? Because I have seen some really shocking attempts at brands, and it's not because that person isn't passionate about their brand and doesn't care. It's that they do not see the improvements that need to be made, and they feel like it's a strong brand when it's not. Okay. And it's completely, the brand quality on a scale of 1 to 10 is down at like a 1 or a 2. So this is it's not the fault of the business owner, but you do have to have the awareness of going, do I really know what is a good brand and is a weak brand? Okay. And if you don't, then get in the expertise, get in someone who's creative, who can see, well, listen, even just some use of fonts and colors and alignment, and it's all over the place, and it's not tight, okay? And for me and my clients, I want things to be tight. I want them to be a really high standard when you're going to create something. And it doesn't have to be on a super high budget. Okay, of course you can hire, agencies, and they go up from, they start at a couple thousand, go into, tens, hundreds of thousands for branding. But nowadays, you don't need to go that far depending on where your business is at. I've had clients that have invested thousands and thousands in their brands. Okay, but it depends where you are with the business. Those clients I've helped to generate revenue, and then they've reinvested because they wanted to make sure that their brand was strong. And I always ask the question, is this something that you would see on a national shelf? Is this something that you would see and you would be proud of talking about if you were on Oprah? Okay, always ask that question. So do not overlook the importance of your brand. Very, very key. Okay, so as always, guys, it's exciting to be able to share with you, and hopefully you've found some of the content useful today. And again, we've been talking about 5 ways, simple ways for you to improve your brand. So my advice would be take some action, follow through on some of those resources, and even if now isn't the right time for you, maybe it will be in the future. This is Simon Lovell from Fitpreneurs. We are broadcasting over on iTunes, Fitpreneurs on iTunes, also fitpreneurs.com/kickass if you want to check out the YouTube playlist. Also over here on Facebook, facebook.com/fitpreneurs. As always, helping you to take your fitness business forward, change more lives, impact more people, so that you can hear the words, "You changed my life." I will see you in another episode of Kickass over on Fitpreneurs. Take it easy.